Alright, yes, your boy Shimmy is back again. 2 blood videos this week. The streets been telling me this is the anime to watch out for this season. Today we got Gachiakuta, so lock the in. Yes, you. Tell your mom to lock in too. And let's get into it. And subscribe. Boom, we start with this little girl and her stuffed animal just broke. Her mom says, "Didn't I just buy that for you?" Whatever, let's just throw it out. We can buy you a new one. W pollution though, them turtles. So the mom puts it in a garbage bag, goes outside and throws the trash down this chute. And it ends up in a truck, and that truck is driving all the way to the waste collection site. Now at the site, everything is going fine. We see this guard and bro's making sure Rudy Gobert and Paul George are in the right spot. But then bro hears something. He's like, no way Rudy thinks he's not trash, bro. So he walks up to the door. He looks in, and he sees my homeboy again? Yes, that's my homeboy. That's how he gets when he's hungry. The guard's not playing no games though. He says, "Don't move, ho ass," and he pulls out the switch with the green beam, not the red. You know you're not supposed to be in here, boy. Who are you? But my homeboy just turns around, looks at him on some, "You're not gonna do nothing, tender as hell." He looks closer and he says, "Hold on, you're that trash vandal from the news. You out here dumpster diving and then taking that trash and putting it outside? Shit's kinda nasty, but like one man's trash is another man's treasure, right?" But bro says, "You're jeopardizing the town's beauty?" Like, you can tell this guy gets no gyal just after that statement. That's ridiculous. So he goes, hits the alarm, and all his homies pull up and surround our guy. "Yeah, where you going now, look?"
There's no way out of this one.
They all got their blicks too. This shit is starting to look grim. Bro is not going out like that. He starts throwing Rudy Gobert and Paul George at them. The people them get hit, and with that he sneaks away into a vent and crawls and jumps out. But the feds are still on his tail. "You not going nowhere, we told you this." And they start shooting the switches at them. Green beam. You would think these guys are in Chicago the way they're up in the switches though. Bro's been ready for this though. He jumps in the air and dodges all the bullets on some Matrix shit. They're like, "What the fuck? Is this Spider-Man?" He jumps on the wall, then on the truck, and then he starts sprinting like he's Usain. But then one bullet grazes his arm. They're still shooting, but he hops over the fence, and with that, he's safe. The guards are like, "Shit, go find him now." Big Montaigne though, how's a group of guards letting one get away? The whole department needs to get fired. Y'all need some training. Now our trash vandal says, "I'm not no vandal, ho ass," and he ended up stealing the bunny that the girl threw out at the start of the story. Now we go into town and the people here look rich as hell. They look like they have high tea and shit. Now we see this guy and he's got this book in his hand and he's just walking in town. He overhears some people talking and they're like, "Girl, you heard that the trash vandal came out tonight? Are you dead ass? Bro gotta be on some type of drugs. Must be one of them tribe folks."
What do you mean by that?
And then they look over and see bro and they're like, "It's one of them. He looks disgusting. Bro got no haircut, smells, and he got H&M on." Damn, I'm not gonna lie, I thought H&M had some pieces for real. But they say, "I hope they never come back." So now we see that this world is divided into 2 different areas. You got the rich area, then you got the slums. But the rumors start to hit the slums too, that someone was out there stealing from the rich side. So we see our guy Rudo again, and Shorty pulls up to him and says, "You were collecting trash again, weren't you? You know if you get caught, you're cooked, right? You're gonna be locked up with Dirk and them. They even got Silento in there too. Why you keep putting yourself in danger for garbage?" But he says those rich bastards just be throwing shit out, which is facts. And he says, "I'm just really trying to get in my bag." Then these kids pull up and they're like, "Something smells like shit." "Yo, Chiwa, don't tell me this is your dog. Bro smells like Davy Jones' locker." "I'm not gonna lie, someone needs to get my dog some deodorant." Shorty says, "He might stink a little, but that's still my dog. That's my ride or die." But the kids say, "Be careful. You know he's the son of a murderer." And we learn they made this slum just to put all the criminals over here to keep the town safe. And all these people here now are just descendants of those criminals. Like, what the fuck? Why would they do this? Who signed off and said this is a good idea? Now they're really talking shit and bro just hits them with the stare and he scares them all off. Now he's just chilling with Shorty and Rudo busts out the toy he fixed and tries giving it to her. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, this is gonna be the start of his villain arc. But her mom calls her and she goes home. Now Rudo goes home and we see the dirty man from earlier. And he says, "I seen you out there with Shorty. I seen you trying to get in your bag. That wasn't a bad shot, you just had a slightly late release." But why why am I hearing you're collecting trash? We learn this guy took Rudo in as a kid and he's the only family he has. And Rudo's really only stealing because he wants to pay him back for helping him all these years. The old man sees his wounds and he's like, what the hell happened? Did they switch you up? And he tells him, don't ever go back there. Next time you're not making it out. And Rudo takes his gloves off and we see these scars. And these are the scars that his parents gave him. Who the hell were his parents? A Kainu? We learn in this town, if you do something horrible, they toss you into the abyss, and that's where his pops was sent, because his pops basically went on a rampage and started killing all mans. Apparently, allegedly, in GTA. He says his hands have been pitch black since he was a kid, and they used to hurt bad too. But Regto gave him these gloves, and that shit has helped him. So he's really just trying to help Regto any way that he can. Now they're chopping it up, talking about Rudy and his shots. But some guy is just staring at them from outside their crib. And he says something, but that shit was not English. Now the next day, Rudo's gonna give the bunny to his shots, and he's walking up the steps. And we see a glimpse of the abyss for real. And we learn all the trash is thrown down there too. And we literally get a front row seat of a man getting dropped down there. I can't lie, this is actually a crazy punishment. They're forcing you to go party with Rudy Gobert. Hey, shorty pulls up and she says, listen gang, I know you gotta make some money, but I'm not trying to see you get thrown off the cliff. And with that, he finally gives the toy to her and she says, I'll treasure it. This shit wholesome. So he goes and runs home with the quickness to tell Regto because he finally bagged her. This is a core experience every guy goes through. Going back to tell your dogs after you finally bagged the one you've been plotting on. So he's running around the corner, then boom, he runs into the feds. And they look at him, they're like, where you going, lo? With that, he finally gets home and he walks in the door. He's like, yo, Regto, listen to this. All he sees is this masked guy standing over Regto and he's got a sword in his chest. Bro looks back at Rudo and stabs him even more. Nah, this guy's crazy. So boom, Rudo goes to ride out. He goes in to fight, but he just blacks out and then he wakes up. And the masked guy takes the book, looks at Rudo again, says, you weak as hell, boy, and then just walks out. But Regto is still dying. He tries to help him, but Regto says, gang, you gotta run, you gotta get out of here. Nah, I'm not leaving, don't worry, I'll help you, you're blessed. No, you gotta run. Then we just see Rudy get hit in the back with a taser. The police show up and they're like, the murderer has been apprehended.
We fucking got him.
No way they think my dog did this murder, right? He even says, it ain't me, but they're not trying to hear none of that. He's got all of Regto's blood all over him, so he looks guilty. He's still trying to tell them you got the wrong guy, but then he gets a rude punch and passes out. Now the whole town is, yeah, that nigga's just like his pops. He's a real murderer. He murdered his foster father too. That's why you can't be nice to lil youths. So bro is in chain gang with Dirk right now and they hang him up in front of the whole city. He gets sentenced to death. They're gonna toss him down with all the garbage. Bro's like, nah, this can't be real, right? This gotta be fake. He says, y'all gotta believe me. Chiwa, listen, somebody came in and killed Regto. You know I wouldn't do this, right? But she says, you a dirty murderer, I don't fuck with you. And she drops his present. I told you this was gonna be his first villain arc. But these people are crazy. They're literally cheering for him to get thrown down. Like, dog, y'all live in the slums. Y'all got bigger issues to worry about. So he gets pissed and says, nah, y'all are the filthy ones, not me. All of y'all are hoes. Y'all are hoes. Y'all are the real trash. And we see the guy who framed him is in the crowd watching too. Nah, he needs to get his get back for this. This is outrageous. Taunting the man now too? Crazy. So they drop him and he says, I'm going to kill all of you. All of y'all are dying. The man is falling from the skies and his eyes open and he just sees some black shit. Then he wakes up and he's like, the hell is that smell? And there's just trash everywhere. He's like, I don't know where I am, how I even survived that drop. But then something behind him starts moving. They told him it was just garbage down here and we just see this giant thing moving. He turns around and it's a fucking trash dragon. What is going on here? Who did this? Yeah, bro, GG's. I don't know what type of world this is. I don't know how he's gonna get out of this, but more power to you, gang. If this show ends after episode 1, I wouldn't be surprised. That's all for this episode. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you thought about this anime. Let me know if this is your favorite anime this season. Appreciate all the love, all the support. We got lots of shit in the works. The stove was on 5 before. We're moving that shit up to 7, okay? Goal is to get it to 10. Let me know if you want me to keep doing these seasonal animes, Lord of the Mystery and Gachiakuta. maybe a dandadan, something else, let me know. Got some other stuff in the works. Fog Hill, seen it, working on it, just watched it, okay? Attack on Titan, it's coming. Hell's Paradise, seen it, it's coming. We're working on a lot. We're working. Let me know if you want me to make a second channel too, because I'm going to. If you know an editor, tell him to holla at me. Make sure to like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'ma holla at y'all boys and girls, everybody in the next video. Road to 50K. Free Jeff.